Hello guys and welcome back on my channel again. In this video I will show you a complete project which is a school management system. I had already shown you the demo of that project. If you haven't seen the demo of that project, kindly go and check the demo first because you will not able to understand what I am trying to make in this video. So before seeing this video, kindly check that demo. Okay. So in this video I will show you how to make a complete school management system which I had made for a particular school as my own project in PHP. So many people were asking me to make a video on a project regarding PHP. So I had thought that I should share this project with all of you guys. So this is an intermediate and high expert level project. So if you know about PHP and everything, so this project is very easy for you because I had used very easy statements and logics to make you understand. This school management system covers everything a school needs. It will save the data of students, the faculty, and it is the school management system also includes a fees management system, and then a result management system, and then also a certificate management system. Okay, this school management system has two login pages and also has an admin management system that admin can give access to many users. So as everyone know that for making a PHP project or server side project we need a server. So the local server I had used for this project is exam server. So I will assume that you all know that we can use exam for making PHP projects and web pages. So if you haven't know about exam and anything about exam and how to use exam, so do comment, so I will make a separate video on that. But in this video I will assume that you know about exam a little bit. Okay, so I will just show you the codes and I will start telling you about the whole process of making this project. So before going to project, if you want to see any blogs regarding my videos and anything, you can jump to my website. The link will be in the description. And if you also want the source code of this project, so for that you can also contact me. You will find my email on my website. So now just jump uh, towards our code. So first of all I will turn on my exam server. So I had turned on my exam server. So I will first of all I will show you the database I had made for this project. So you can see database and all the tables I had made for this project. Okay, so that if you want to copy this project and want to make this project, you will find it easy to make this project. Okay, because database is the main part of this project. Saving data of everything is a very difficult task, and it has taken a lot of time for me to compute everything, that what should I have to put in database and how I have to put the things in database. Okay, so let me show you the database first. So the name I had chosen for this database is Royal Kids School because this I had made this project for Royal Kids Schools, and there are a total of 29 tables I had used for this project. Okay, so you can see that the tables are a daily fees record, discount, then there are a table for separate class, every class. Okay, so as there were classes in that school, I had made tables according to that. Okay, then there are tables for records, and there are table for a generate voucher. Vouchers are the fee slips that school will generate. Okay, and then there are user table. Okay, then there are student tables, student fees record table. Okay, then there are marks table, and there are unpaid table, and there are also a user table. So there are a collection of 29 tables I had used in this whole project. Okay, so if you want to see everything and every column I had put in this table, you can comment me, then I will make a separate video, then I will show you everything about this database. Okay, because in this video I will show you only the code, because the code is very lengthy and it will make this video very long. Okay, as I have to show you each and everything I had used in this project. So I will leave the database here. So if you want to see database, so just comment it, I will make a video on that. Okay, so let's jump to our code editor. I will use Sublime for this project. So the first thing I will show you in this project is the connection file, that how you can connect your database with a PHP and widget server. Okay, so let me just open my connection file. So you can see that I had made a separate file for connection, so that I don't have to write that code again and again. I had just added this file on the top of every file where I had to use the database. Okay, so just this is a very handsome practice that you made a separate connection file, so that you don't have to write all of these code. Okay, so how do we connect our database with our PHP server or anything? So first of all, I had declared three variables in PHP. So we use that dollar symbols to declare variables in PHP as we declared variables in C++ or any other language. Okay, so I had declared three variables, one for host, okay, then second is for user, and third is for password. So as I am using the local host, so if you will use local host, then you and the host variable, you will always write local host. Okay, then there is a username, and I didn't change the username because root is the default username for local server, so I had just kept it the same. And then I had changed the password for my database. Okay, so you can see that I had write a long password for database. There is no need for password when you are using it local server, because no one can access your computer or your project. But I had to deploy this project on online server, so that's why I had done that. So don't try this password or this username, it will not benefit you at anything. Okay, so what I had done that, then I had declared a one more variable which is called link. So you can name anything which you wanted to. So then I had used a statement which is as MySQL I underscore connect. Okay, this is a built-in function. So if your computer don't work with this statement, so then use MySQL underscore connect. So okay, so then pass all of the variables, the local host variable, the user variable, and then password variable. So this statement will connect your project with the database. So then I had used an if statement. So I had written the statement that if my SQL I underscore connect underscore error, so that if while connecting my database with my project there comes an error, so then there is a built-in function which is called die, that don't connect the run this function, just die it. Okay, just finish it and give a user the error that user cannot connect to the database, try again. Okay, or else in else part, so suppose if the database connected successfully, okay, then it will select the specific database with I am working, which is Royal Kids School. So what in this statement I am doing, I am selecting the database which is Royal Kids School. Okay, so I have used the built-in function which is MySQL I underscore select that data underscore database, and we had linked our database. Okay, and then we had selected the database which we want to work on, okay, which is Royal Kids School. Okay, so this is how we can connect our data project with the database. Okay, so the iterate symbols I had used behind the my PHP functions, it is because sometimes the server gave you an unnecessary errors. So these @ sign will remove that unnecessary errors automatically. So if you want to put those @ symbols, you can put it, but always put them at the end of the code when you will satisfy that your code will work at 100%. Okay, so don't put it without your satisfaction, because your browser will not give you any error. Okay, or not, or your server will give you any error, so you will not be able to find that why your code is not running. Okay, so the next thing I will show you in this video is how I made the login form for my project. Okay, so let me just open my login form. So I had made two login pages on my project. One is for users and one is for admins. Okay, so both of the login pages are same. Both of the pages use almost the same logic. So I will show you only one login page so you can understand the second login page. Okay, so first of all I will show you the HTML and other things. So I will also show you my login page. So let me just open my login page. So this is my one login page, and the other login page is inside the software which is for admin. So both of the pages are same, just there was the difference is in the styling. Okay, so what I am doing in the login page is that, so you can see that I had included that connection PHP file on this page like this. So you can use the include function of PHP to include the any file in any page. Okay, so I had used bootstrap and other things to style my page. So I will show you the HTML first. So first of all I had used a nav bar. You can see that it is a built-in class of bootstrap. So I had put the bootstrap link over here. You can see that in the head section. Okay, so in the nav bar section I had used two paragraphs to write the school name and the statement of the school, and you can see that these are over here. And the next thing I had done, that I had used a div, container div. Okay, then I had write two headings. One is login page and other is the name of the school. So you can see that these are over here. So after that I had used two inputs, one for email and one for password. So the remaining things are the built-in classes of bootstrap. So you can copy it from the bootstrap page, official page. Okay, and you can also write it yourself. So this is the first input, okay, button, which is saying which has a type of email, and it is a required. Okay, so required attribute make it must that you have to write that email. So it is a front page validation. Okay, so I didn't use JavaScript for validation. Okay, so instead of that I had used HTML validations. Okay, then I had given the attribute name, then placeholder. Okay, so the password I had used the type password, and it is also required and everything. So and then the third thing is the button. Okay, so button has a type of submit and the value of login and the name of submit. So the code over here are the libraries I had used for JavaScript, so you don't have to understand those. Those I didn't use them anywhere. I just had put them. So what this div is doing that, this div is showing you an error. So if you write the code or email wrong, so this will give you a nice looking error. Okay, so what this div is doing, that there is a condition if, that if variable error is equals to null. I had defined the variable error on the top. I will show you, while I will show you how to code in our the code of PHP section. So it is echoing that echo will display anything we will write in this. Okay, so in the echo section we are using a div and HTML error alert message. Okay, it is also a bootstrap error, and I had used the default bootstrap classes. Okay, or in the error message it is showing you the error message. It will give get the error message from the top of the page, which is PHP. Okay, so this is all I am doing in in HTML section. So on the above side, this is the CSS I had used for this styling. So this is the basic styling, so I don't have to show you or tell you anything about that. But you can see that this is some specific code I have used. Okay, and this is true. So I had used this code. I had taken out this code from Google. So I had used this page so that the page don't move. Okay, so you can see that the page is stretched from left to right and top to bottom exactly. Okay, so for that, for this thing I had used this code. Okay, so you can just download it from the Google, or you can write anything. And in the background section I had used two images. Okay, so one is for this image and second is on the page, on the little box. Okay, so whenever a user will write the email and password, it will enter the submit button. So in the PHP section what I am doing is that, so you can see that here is the error variable. Okay, so it has a value of null. Okay, so whenever the user will press the submit button, so there is a condition that if where array key exists. Okay, so array key exists is a built-in PHP function which checks that there is an array coming from the HTML section or not. Okay, so then it is the submit. Okay, submit is the button. So you can see that submit is the name of button input type. So PHP check the name attribute for any array and anything. So it will check that submit has posted. It is also a built-in value. So then there are some validations I had put using PHP. Okay, so I had validate this form with two ways. Okay, one is with the HTML and second is with using a PHP. So it will check if our email has posted, email has not posted. Okay, then it will this message will be saved in the error. Then it will check the same for password. Okay, and suppose if the error message is empty, so it will show you there are no errors, so it will not show you anything, by the way. So in the else section what I am doing, that I am saving, I am selecting the data from database. Okay, retrieving the data from database, and then I am comparing my email and password with those email and password. Okay, so I had defined a variable which is name query. So what I am doing is that select static. Static will select everything from the database. So select static from users. User is the table where the record of all the users are kept. Okay, so it will select everything from the users. Okay, uh, where email, okay, is this email. Okay, so it will select the record of that user whose email is matched to the email we had entered. Okay, so it will only retrieve the data of that user. So suppose I had entered an email, so it, what this statement will do, it will retrieve the data of only that user. Okay, so what there is a function I had used which is MySQL underscore real underscore escape underscore string. So what this function will do, this function will fill every unnecessary gaps or anything between my string. Okay, so if there are any gap and anything in my string, this function will remove that. Okay, so then I am linking my database and then I am posting my email. Okay, the email the user had had entered. Okay, so this is my query. Then what I am doing, then I am running my query. Okay, so MySQLi underscore query will run our query. So you have to write this the same every time. Okay, so you have to give the name of the variable of the query and then the link variable. Okay, so this link variable we had defined it in our connection.php file. You can see that. Okay, so add we had included this file in our page on the top. So then we are fetching the whole row. Okay, so and we are saving that row in our row variable. So this function will fetch everything. So this statement will fetch the data. Okay, then it will compare with the email I had posted again. Okay, so I had done this validation again for the errors. Okay, so there is no need for this again because we had already compared the data email over here. Okay, so it is again comparing my email with the email I had posted. Okay, then if it does not match, so then there are errors that there are errors in your form and your email is wrong. Please try again. Okay, so again there is in this section I am comparing my password with the password I had posted. Okay, so if the password and everything got matched, it will send the user to the main page. Okay, so main page is the main page of my form or my software, and if the password don't match, then there are again errors that your password is wrong, please try again. Okay, so this is how I had made this login page. So I had shown you the connection file and PHP login page file in this video. So I hope you had understand both of these things. So if you didn't understand anything, then comment below. I will answer every query. As you can see that I am not writing any code and I am not making a separate files. Okay, for the code. It is because the video will get so long. Okay, so I am making you understand everything from these files. So if you had any questions, so just answer the question me in the comment section. I will answer it in the comment section. Okay, so now I will show you the demo of my project. Okay, so suppose I am writing these things. So if suppose I had pressed the login button without the password, so you can see that it will give an error that please fill out this field first. Okay, so suppose if I write the password and I don't write the email, so it will again give me an error. And suppose I have entered both of the things and I write the login button, so it will show me that there are errors in the form, your email is wrong, please try again. Okay, so suppose I entered the right email then the wrong password, so now you can see that it will show me the error that your password is wrong, please try again. So if I write both of the things, I write both of the things correct and log in, so now you can see that it has logged me in successfully. Okay, so this is the home page for my project. Okay, you can see that. So the next thing I will show you is the home page of my project. So let's just continue. So this is the main page coding. So on this page there is mostly the HTML bootstrap. Okay, and there are a lot of links in this page. So there is a little PHP and MySQL coding which I had used on this top section because I am showing the user, the total students and active students and total employees and active employees. So for that I had used PHP and MySQL, and the remaining thing I had done that in Bootstrap and HTML. Okay, and the top section of this page I had saved this in separate file, and the bottom section of this page is also in separate file. Okay, so this is my header and this is my footer. Okay, for those two files I had made separate files. Okay, so after the main page I will show you these two files first. Okay, so all of these things I had done in HTML, Bootstrap and CSS. So first of all I will show you the HTML section. Okay, so first of all I have defined a div which is container, which will contain my first section, and there is another container which will contain my second section. Okay, so this is a simple HTML. Okay, what I am doing is there is an label which says student information. There is a label. Okay, and there I had also put an image in the label section, and there is the little style over here. So you can see that there is the student information, and then there is the picture and the hover. I had put the hover effect in the CSS part. Okay, then there is three, then there is a list. Okay, and in the list section I had shown three total students, active students and inactive students, and I have shown using PHP. Okay, so there is a PHP echo over here. Okay, so it will get the data from the top of the PHP section. Okay, so I had done for the same for the faculty section. So these both sections are exactly the same. Okay, so then I had put these quick links. Okay, so you can see that whenever you click any button it will take you on that page. Okay, so these are quick links. So for the quick links I had used the buttons, HTML buttons, and I had styled them using Bootstrap. Okay, so first of all there is a spam tag which says students, which is this. Okay, and there is also label which say quick options. You can see that, and then I had put 5 buttons in this section. So I had just copy and pasted this data, this whole code 5 times. Okay, for every function I had used different quick links. Okay, so I had just entered different URLs in every button section. Okay, so giving a link in the button section and sending the user to another page using the button is a bit of trick. Okay, so for that I had used some functions. So first of all there is a button. Okay, then on click there is I had used a function. Okay, which says windows.location.href, which is reference. So this is a built-in function, you can use it the same. Then after equal to I had entered the URL of the page on which I want the user to go. Okay, and then this is the class for button, and then this is the text for button which is insert student. Okay, so this is not a very difficult thing. So all of the buttons are working like the same. Okay, so every button use the same thing. So if you want to send user to any other page using the button, so this is the syntax for that. Okay, you have to write on click and this function. So you don't have to write JavaScript functions and other things for that. It is difficult to, so just use this simple function. Okay, I had found that function after a lot of search. So I was also doing this thing using JavaScript then, but this thing is also simple and also efficient. Okay, so I hope you had understand this. So this is the basic CSS for this page, and then there is the PHP for this page. So what I am doing this, I am including the connection file first, then I am including the header file. So this is the header file for this page. Okay, so this is the same for every page, and footer file is also same for every page. So here's I am including the footer file. So after that I had to write some count variables. These variable will count the data, okay, which I am showing in the over here, okay. So I had defined different count variable for every data. So I am showing 6 different types of data. So there are 6 different count variable. So this is not a difficult thing over here. So what I am doing is I am selecting, okay, the thing I want to select from the specific tables. Then I am running the query, and then there is a loop. It will fetch the data of every student, okay. Then it will count plus plus, okay. It will increase 1 every time this loop will run, okay. So I had shown you how the query will run. So this is the variable which is query1. So it will select admission number from students and from student, and then I will run this query by MySQL query, and then I will link it with the variable, and then I will retrieve using this function. So this is also a function to retrieve data from database, which is MySQL underscore fetch underscore associate, okay. So this will also fetch the data from the database, and then there is the loop. So I had done the same thing 6 times, okay, but I had used the different things. So in the second query, what I am doing, I am selecting the admission number, okay, but where the status is active. So where uh, filter will do, it will fetch the data of only those students which has a status of active, okay, as I am showing active students in my information table. Then there is the same for inactive students. So it is totally the same over here, same code, okay. So when I am showing this data, so you can see that I am showing the count, okay. So count 1, count 2, count 3, and count 4, 5, 6, okay. So the what is the value of the count will be shown over here. So this is all the thing I am doing in the my page, main page, okay. So you can see that, okay. So this is the count variable showing the total values, and those are the quick links. So I will also show the hover effect I had put for the values. So you can see that here is the spam tag. I have used the spam tag for student and faculty, and then there is the hover effect, and there is a color, and I had also increased the font size on hover effect, okay. So this is all for the main page, okay. So I hope you had understand this page too. So if you had any questions regarding this page, you can just comment it, I will answer it. So the next thing I will show you on this page is the header page. So let me just open my header page. So this is the code for header, okay. So on the header page, I am doing 2 things. I am designing this top section, okay, then this section, and then all of these menus, okay. So you can see that there are drop downs on everywhere, okay, except the admin panel. So this is the admin panel, okay, admin login page. So I had used the same thing for both of the pages, but the styling is different, okay. So let me just show you the HTML of this page first. So first of all, what I am doing is there is a nav bar on the top, okay. So I had used nav bar for this top section to design this login logout button, okay. So first of all, there is a nav bar. This is a built-in bootstrap. You can just copy it from the bootstrap page, okay. Then there is the button, okay. So I had used an JavaScript function on click, okay. So what will this function will do, this will ask the user that do you really wanna log out, okay. So this is a basic function. I will show you how I had write this. So there is a type of button, and then there is a name logout, and this is the value logout. So this is the basic button of HTML. So then I had used this clear div. So what clear div will do, it will clear the CSS styling of the previous div. Okay, so then after that there is this part. In this part I had used two headings, one for the school and one for the their mission statements. So everything I had styled these things in the CSS section. Okay, so you can style like you want to. So that's why I'm not showing you the styling of my project. I'll just showing you the code. Okay, so after this section I had again used the clear div. So clear div don't do anything except clearing the previous CSS styles. Okay, so there is again a nav bar, which is dark nav bar. So for this links part I had also used a nav bar, and on the nav bar I had put all of these drop downs. Okay, so this is the first list, which start from here and end over here. Okay, you can see that. So in the first list, so you can see that in the first list I had write the home. So this is the home page, and this is the link for home page. So in the link section you can easily put the link. So in the href section I had write the link for home page, and the uh, remaining things are the bootstrap classes. Okay, then there is an other link, uh, list, li list. So this is the bootstrap classes. Okay, then I had write the menu. Okay, so you can see that the menu, this is the menu. So I haven't put any link in the menu tag. You can see that there is no link. So whenever I will click the menu, so this is the drop down list for the menu part. Okay, you can see that. So this is the class for drop down, and then there is all the pages I am showing in the drop down. So this is the students, all faculty, everything. You can see that, and I am writing the links over here. Okay, so you can see that there are the links. Okay, so you can see that whenever of I click this drop down, after these four there is a line. Okay, and then there is the about section. So for that line I had used the bootstrap class, which is drop down divider. Okay, so this div will put a line. Okay, so you can see that I had used it many here. Okay, many other parts of the code also. So this is for the first menu. Okay, so this I had copied paste the same code over 5 to 6 times. So how many, so you can also copy the same code 5 to 6 times, or how many menus you want. Okay, so there is a manage employee menu, then there are the links and drop downs for that, and there is the manage student. Okay, then there is a manage fees record, then there is a certificate. Okay, then there is certificate records, and then there is manage result. Okay, so everything is same, totally is the same. Okay, so and in the separate I am using a control panel. Okay, so I am not giving any drop down link over here. So it is just the simple. So I will show you the uh, JavaScript function in a bit. So in this page I am not using any PHP. There is only one PHP statement that if logout will post, then it will refer me towards login page. Okay, so there is only one. Okay, So there is a function I had used, ob underscore start. Okay, so what this function will do, so many times whenever you include uh, the files in your page, okay, so the files start getting repeated. Okay, so files uh, start to repeat itself. Okay, so the styling we use in the file and the previous file styling, they will start getting repeated. Okay, so for that I had used this function. So what this function will do, this will start our file from the start. Okay, so that no style or nothing will start repeating itself. Okay, so now I will show you the JavaScript function. So what this function is doing, so whenever I will click this button, this function will call. And what I am doing in this function is that, so there is, I am defining a variable which is text. So then there is a statement that confirm is a built-in function. Okay, so it is asking that do you really want to log out. So if the text is log out, so it will log out the page, or else it will show that it will do nothing. Okay, so then this is the button. Okay, so if the text will be log out, then it will log out, or if the text is this, it will not log out. So it will check on the top of the PHP section I had shown you already. So this is how I had designed my HTML, the header section. Okay, so this is all for the header section. So the final thing I will show you in this video is the footer section. So let me just open the file. So this is the total footer section. Footer section is only a nav bar which says all right reserved. Then it says designed and made by Muhammad Munif, which is my name. Okay, so what I am doing is I am using a nav bar, and this nav bar says two things. One is paragraph and other is link. So you can see that one says all right reserved and other says made by Munif and this thing. Okay, so for this copyright sign over here, you can see that there is a little copyright sign and there is a little arrow sign. Okay, so for that I had used this. Okay, so these are the built-in HTML signs libraries or signs codes. Okay, so you can just Google it and copy it, or just write it as I had written. Okay, so these are the classes for JavaScript, so there is nothing special in them, so don't get into them. So this is all the code I had used for the nav bar or the footer section. So in this video I had shown you the connection file, and then the login page file, and then the main page, and header and footer. So after seeing this code, try to write this code, okay, yourself, and if you got any questions and queries, then do comment, so I will answer your queries. Okay, so it is not a very difficult thing, you can design it by seeing my code easily. Okay, so this is all for this video. If you want to see anything regarding my videos, check my blog. Okay, and if you have any questions, then do comment. Okay, thank you. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel again. In the previous video we had seen something about the PHP project I am showing you, which is a school management system. So in the previous video we had seen how to make a login page, and then we had seen the connection file, that how we can connect our project with the database, and then we had seen how to make a header file, and then a footer, and then we had seen that how I made the home page of my project. Okay, so if you like the design, you can also copy it. So in this video we will see that how I made the management system for students and faculty. Okay, so these two system, or maybe I will show you that how to store fees and make invoices and vouchers of student, which is a fees management system. So I will try to cover these three topics in this video. Okay, so this video is going to be lengthy but very informative, so stick with me. And if you want to see any blogs or anything regarding my videos, do check my website. The link will be in the description. And if you want to want the source code of this project, so send me an email. You will find my email in on my website. So let's continue to our project. So let me just start my local server. So in today's video I will try to show you the menu section, okay, then the manage employee section, then the manage student section, and then the fees record system. If the video uh, didn't took that long, so before going to the code, let me tell you that all the function we had in the manage employees and all the functions we had in the manage student, both are exactly the same. Okay, so the code for manage employee and the manage student is also exactly the same, only there is a bit difference in the forms. Okay, you can see that the form I used for manage employee is different. Their layout is same, but the attributes or entities I am taking from the employee or user is different. Okay, so I am asking some different things from the employee, and I am asking some different things from the students. Okay, so only these two forms are different. Remaining all of the functions and codes will be the same. Okay, so if you understand the code of this, so you will just copy and paste the code by changing the name from employee to student. You will get the manage student. Okay, functionality. So I will only show you how to manage employee code. Okay, I will show you these 5 codes of manage employees, so, and you can copy that code to manage students yourself. And if you had any questions regarding that, so you can answer me. So the first thing I will show you that how we can insert an employee. So this is the form for the insertion of an employee. So I will pause the video and fill this form, and then I will show you that how I will submit this form. Okay, so you can see that I had filled my form with random values. Okay, so now I will just click on submit the information button. So when I will click that button, my form will be submitted, and there is also a nice looking message over on the top that employee inserted. Okay, so this is how I am inserting the employee and also the student. Okay, so both of the systems are exactly the same. So I will show you the code, that how I write the code and what are the things I write for insert employee. So let's jump to our code. So let me just open the file. So this is the code for insertion. Okay, so I will just show you the code, that what are the things I write in the code, instead of writing all the code, because it will take a lot of time. So in the HTML section, this code is for the form. Okay, so this all of this code is for the form. So if you don't know how to make a form, you can check my video for in HTML playlist, which will show you that how we can make a form. Okay, in HTML. So this is a simple form, and I had used simple bootstrap styling on the form. Okay, so these are simple bootstrap classes which I had used. You can see that, which is form group. Okay, and the column MD6. So these are normal bootstrap classes. So you can check these classes on the bootstrap website, official website. So the bootstrap I had used in this project is bootstrap 4. Okay, so I don't think I have to tell you about that. You can style it as you want to. Okay, so I will just show you that what are the important things. So for every input I had used an input tag, you can see that. And so this is the input tag for first name. You can see that I had also write required over here. So required is the HTML validation, is a type of validation that HTML is fixing that you have to write the name first. Okay, you can't proceed without entering the name. So instead of doing complex JavaScript validation, which also makes the software slow, I used HTML on page validation. Okay, so user has to write the name. Okay, so he can submit the form. Okay, before that he can't submit the form. So you can use this also. And then there is the name attribute. So name attribute send the values which the user will enter, okay, to the PHP. Okay, so we will access the value of this input or any input using the name attribute. Okay, so name attribute is very important. We don't access values in the PHP using ID attribute. We use it by using the name attribute. So if you don't know, so keep that thing in mind. So I had used text type for name, and then I had used a drop down for religion, then for gender. Okay, so you can see that for date of birth I had used the type date. The date type will you can see that put a nice calendar. Okay, so you don't have to do anything for the calendar. And then the phone number I had used type number. And then for the remaining are the tags and list. Okay, so there is nothing to show you. And in the last there is a input type which has a type of submit, which will submit the form. Okay, so which has the value of submit the information and name of submit student information. So whenever user will click this button, thus all the information will be submitted. Okay, so of the employee and the student. Okay, so now let me show you the PHP code. So whenever user will click that button, uh, the form will go to the top. Okay, you can see that I had already included the connection file and header file. Okay, and there is the footer file. Okay, so now there is a if condition which is saying that if array key exists. Array key exists is a built-in function which checks that does the user is sending some kind of array or not. Okay, so yes, the user is sending some kind of array, so it will check the button, then it will post the information. Okay, so now there are two ways to write the query that will insert the data into the database. So you can post all the information directly into the query, or you can post the information into the variables, and then you can insert into the database using those variables. So I had used the variables to insert data into the database because it is easy and more efficient, or there are less uh, error error chances. Okay, so this is the syntax of posting the data. Okay, so if you want to post anything in PHP, just write this post $_ post, and then the name of the input field. Okay, so the name for the first input field is first name. So that is the method for posting anything in PHP. And in for declaring variables in PHP we use $symbol. So I hope you know that. So after posting all the information, I am writing the query for inserting it into the database. So this is the simple query for insertion. You can check it on Google. So which says insert into faculty. Faculty is the name of table. So it is saying that insert into faculty. These are all the columns, and then it is giving the values, and these are all the values. Okay, so I am saving the whole query in this query variable. You can see that. And then I am running the query. Okay, so MySQL I underscore query will run the query, this variable will link it with the database, and then the query send the query. Okay, so this is the code for insertion. Okay, and the this thing down here is the nice looking message on the top I had shown you. Okay, this is a built-in class of Bootstrap which is alert. So you can check that there are many kind of alerts. So if you want to see the alerts, just write on Bootstrap alert on Google, you will find those alerts. So this is the code for insertion. Okay, so let's only change the form if you want to make the student if you want to insert the student. Okay, only change the form as the attributes you want and submit it as this. Okay, so there is nothing to show you in the student code. Okay, so the next thing I will show you that how I added the student. Okay, so for editing I had used two page. Okay, so whenever user will click on edit employee, this page will open. This page has all the information of all the employees. Okay, then there are two filters. Okay, if you want to search anything, click on this and search the information, only that employee will come. Okay, so suppose you want to update the information of this employee, just click on this action button which is update. Whenever you will click this update button, all the information of that student will be shown in the form. Okay, on the same form on which we had entered the information. Okay, while inserting the employee or student. So update anything you want to update and then click on update the information button. So information will be updated. Okay, and you can see that there is a nice looking message on the top. So this is the code for updation. So there are two files for editing. So one will show the data, and then whenever we will click on update button, so it will update the data. So what I am doing in update function, that whenever user will click on this update button, okay, so this page will send the ID of this employee or student, which is 10, to the next page. Okay, and then we will retrieve the data using this ID. Okay, so as the ID is unique. So suppose user will click this update button, then this ID will be sent. If user will click this update button, so 12 ID will be sent it to the next page. Okay, so this is the basic logic. So I will show you first the edit employee file, which is this. So what I am doing in this file is that I am showing the record of all the employees in a table, and then I am giving some filter to filter the information. Okay, so the filters use a form. Okay, this form is the same as we had used in the previous section, so you can make the form. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, and the button is also the same. Okay, so the first of all, what we are doing it, we are selecting the data from the database and showing it on our page. Okay, so we are selecting the data, and this is the required data from faculty. Okay, and then we are running the query and saving our result in the result variable. Okay, I don't think there is any difficulty in this query. So after that I am going downwards where the code for showing the data is written. Okay, so I had used table for showing all the data. Okay, so you can use any other thing if you want to. So this is the first row of table, which is obviously the heading, so which is this. Okay, and on the second row I am showing the data of employee one by one. Okay, so there is a loop in PHP section, so which says that MySQL I fetch array, that fetch the array. Okay, and place the whole array in the row section. Okay, so what this loop will do, this loop will fetch the data of first employee. Okay, then the second employee, then the third employee, until last employee. Okay, so it will search the whole data of that employee, and it will save it in the row. Okay, then we will show the data to the user using this row variable. Okay, so you can see that this is the table, and in the table we are using PHP to show the data. So this is the syntax for showing anything. Okay, in HTML using PHP. So this is the row variable, which is this, and then we are showing the ID. Okay, then we are showing the first name, then the last name, and the gender. Okay, so the things in the brackets or the names of the columns in the bracket are exactly the same as in the database. Okay, so you have to write the columns names over here. Okay, so I hope you know that. So in the last line, what I am doing is, whenever user will click the update button, it will send the ID to the next page. Okay, and also refer the user to the next page. So I had found that code with a very difficult process and very uh, a lot of search. Okay, so this is the code for sending the information. Okay, so anything you want to send on the next page, write this code, and this is the page on which we are referring our user. Okay, so whenever user will click update button, this ID will go to this page. Okay, so we will get that ID on this page, and then we will use it further. So let's go on the next page. So before going to the next page, I have to show you that how I had placed the filters. Okay, so this is the form for filters. Okay, so you can write the form. Okay, so you can write the form in HTML. So I don't know why I write it in PHP, but I did. So you can write that form in HTML, which is more efficient way. So I maybe write this form again in HTML when I will get the time. So whenever user will click the search the button, okay, and so this query will overwrite the first query we had written. Okay, so what this query will do, this will update post those two variables which we had taken from the user, and then it will select the same data from the faculty table, but it will using a where class, that where first name is this and the last name is this. Okay, and then it is on simply running the query. Okay, and then sending the data back. Okay, so this is the filter. Okay, so now I will move towards the file where user will go after clicking on the update button. So this is the syntax for getting anything from the previous page. Okay, so you will write under $_ get that the information you want to get. So you can use it directly, but I had saved it in the variable. Okay, and then I am writing the query which says select static from faculty. So I am getting all the data of this ID from the faculty. So you can see that this is the query. I had used the where class, that where ID is this, get all the data of that ID. Okay, then I had run the query, and then I had saved the result of that user in row. Okay, so then I am using the same form which I used to insert the data of employee to show the data of that employee. Okay, so you can see that you can just copy and paste that form. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, so the only thing you have to change it, which is the value attribute. Okay, so you have to write the value, you have to write this syntax in the value attribute of every input. Okay, so it will show the data to the user. So what we are doing, we are using PHP tags, and then we are echoing the row, and then the column we want to show. Okay, then the first name, then the last name. Okay, then the religion. Okay, anything you want to. Okay, this is very simple. So you can see the syntax. Okay, the syntax is the important thing. Remaining all the thing is not difficult, and all the things are exactly the same. Okay, so whenever user will click on this button, this will do exactly the same thing we did in the insert student page. It will get all the data again and update the user. Okay, so the only thing I have to show you in this page is update query. Okay, so this is exactly the same I had told you before. So you can also copy and paste it. Okay, so there is no big deal in it. So this is the update query which say update faculty set. Okay, so these are keywords that which are saying update faculty and set first name equals to first name, last name equals to last name, religion equals to religion. So these I am using variables to update the faculty again. Okay, and we are also using where class because we want to update the data on the specific ID, and I had write where ID is equal to ID. So there are two ways of equaling using the equal thing. So there is like, and there is also, we can also use equal. Okay, so I had used equal over here, and then I am using the like, okay, over here, and then I am running the query. Okay, so there is no big deal in it, and then I am showing a nice message which is alert that information updated. So this is the code for updating the student. So I don't think there is any difficulty in it. So if you found any difficulty in it, do comment, so I will show you that how you can solve your problem. So in the next thing is I will show you active student and active inactive student or employees. Okay, so there is no difficulty in showing this form. Okay, so I had copied exactly the same code I had write for this file, which is edit employee, and just copied in it in another page with a minimum changes. Okay, so let me show you the file. So you can see that all the code is exactly the same, only the change is in the first query. Okay, I also didn't give any filters and anything, so you can see that all the code is same, and I just removed this bit of code. Okay, and remaining all the code is same, exactly the same. And the only difference in this code is that there is I used where status equals to active. Okay, so there's it what it will do, it will show the active student employees or student, or when we will write instead inactive instead of active, it will show the inactive employees or student. Okay, so there is nothing different in this code than this file. Okay, so it is exactly the same. So this is all for this page. So if you want to show the inactive, just write inactive over here. Okay, so this is all for the same, all the same. Okay, so the only thing I have to show you in this page is this progress bar I had used on the top. Okay, so you can see that there is animation, and then it is showing all the inactive employees and active employees. Okay, so what I am doing is here I am using a count variable. Okay, and I am incremented this count variable whenever the loop will run. Okay, so it will get all the number of students or employees, active or inactive, which are in our database. And then I am using a bootstrap a progress bar. You can copy this code exactly from the bootstrap page. Okay, and I am just displaying that count. Okay, so there is nothing in this too. Okay, so these are the default classes of bootstrap only. Okay, so there is nothing difficult in it. So the last thing I will show you in the manage employee and manage student section is delete employee. Okay, so delete employee page and edit employee page is also exactly the same. You can see that this is edit employee page and this is the delete employee page. So I had make the code simpler to simpler so that everyone will understand the code. Okay, and I had also made this project very simple. Okay, so it will make it easy for the school for which I am making this project to use this software. Okay, so I didn't design any complex software. Okay, instead of that I had used very simple things. So whenever user will click delete button, the data will be deleted. Okay, so the only thing is change in the edit employee and delete employee is that we had written delete instead of update button. Okay, so there is nothing change on this page. The change we had is on the other page where user will be referred. Okay, so whenever we will click on update button, the user will be referred to another page where he will update the button. But whenever we will click this delete button, the user will be deleted from the database. So you can see that the id 10 user, and whenever we will click delete button, the id 10 user will be deleted. So you can see that there is no id 10 user now. So let me show you the code for this. So the code for the first page is this, which is exactly the same, only this delete word is changed on the whole page. Okay, so the changing is over this page. So this page is deleting the data. So what this page is doing, this page is getting the ID from the previous page using exactly the same method in the edit employee page. Okay, then it is using the delete query of my SQL to delete the data from the database, and then it is running the query. So if the query will run successfully, it will send the user back to the back to this page. Okay, and if there was an error deleting the user, it will show the error. Okay, so this is the code for deleting. So I hope you had understand everything in these two sections. So if you had any questions or anything regarding this, so you can comment me, so I will answer it. So in the menu section I will show you these two couple of pages. So in the about section there is the documentation of this project, so there is nothing to show you in the about section. So in the all student section, what I am doing is I am giving some filters, and then I am showing the data of all the students in the school. Okay, and whenever user will click this name button, it will show the data of that student. Okay, and then it will click on return to return on the previous page. So this page is also the same. As I told you, I had made this project very in a simple way. So instead of deleting and updating, I had used the link on the name section, and as we are in the edit page, whenever we click on update button, all of the record of user will be shown of that student or that employee. Just like the same, when we will click on this name, this ID will be sent it to the next page, and we will retrieve the data using this ID on that page. So this is exactly the same. There is no changing in the code, so don't get confused. So let me just show you the all student page. So this is the code for all student page. So you can see that it is exactly the same. Okay, so just the filter on the top has been changed. Okay, so I had given more filter in this page, so these are all the filters. Okay, then user will click the button to filter the information, and this is the same table which I used to show the information in the edit page and in the delete page. Okay, so what this page will do, this page will see that if array key exists, okay, then it will run this query, else it will run this query. So suppose user had searched information, then then this query will override this query. Okay, so whenever we will load the page, only this query will run. Okay, so this query will never run until user will search the information. So what this query is doing, this is selecting the data from the database, okay, and showing it, okay, using the same logic. Okay, so whenever user will search the information using this table form filters, so this query will override the data. Okay, so this is the only thing we are doing in this page. And so, and whenever user will click the name, which is this, it will refer it to the next page, which show the data of this user. Okay, so you can see that it has the same syntax and same logic. We are sending the ID of that user to this page. Okay, and then it will get the data. So there is nothing difficult in it, and there is nothing special in it. So this is all for all students. Okay, so the next thing I will show you is all faculty. So all faculty is also the same. You can see that all student and all faculty is also the same. So just the filters are same, less. In all student I had given 4 filters, and in this I had given 3 filters. So you can remove the filters. Okay, you just have to remove the one input field. If you want to remove any filter, you want to, if you want to give any new filter, you can just write a new input field. Okay, I hope you had understand this code, and this also do the same. Whenever we will click this, it will refer to a page and show the data of this employee. So these two pages are exactly the same. And the remaining these two parts I will show you in their respective parts. So the fee record will show the record of all the student, and all certificate issued will show the certificate of all the certificate the school had issued. Okay, so let's move towards this page, which is probably the most difficult page of this whole project. Okay, which is the fees. So it has 9 pages. Okay, which do different type of things. So I will show you one by one what page will do what things. So what enter fees page will do. So every student has a different voucher number. Okay, whenever we will generate the voucher or invoice or fees challan. Okay, so whenever user want to pay the fees of that student, it will write the voucher number, then it will select the date and click on pay voucher. So the voucher of that student will be paid to that respective date. Okay, and it will also show that the fees of that student has been paid. Okay, so and it will show the data of that student. Okay, so keep in mind this page will only pay the fees of current month. Okay, so if the user has the fees of 2 or 3 months, so user can't pay the fees over here. Okay, so it has to pay that fees manually. Okay, there is another way in the software. Okay, and then what this page will do, this page will show the record of the student who has paid the fees of current month. Okay, so suppose if a school has 500 students and only 300 students had paid the fees of current month, so those 300 students will be shown on this page. And what on the defaulted list I am doing, so the record of remaining 200 students will be shown in the defaulted list. Okay, so and there is other section for discount. So what this section is doing, so some school gives some discounts to needy people or orphans or some students. Okay, so instead of giving this discount every time in the voucher, what I had done, I had add a function that add the discount for that student once. Okay, and then it will be added to the voucher every time the voucher will be generated. So whenever we'll click on add discount, we will write the admission number of the student and then the amount. Okay, and then we will save the discount. So the discount for that student will be added permanently and it will be added in the voucher automatically. Okay, so for the discount record, you can see that this is the record. So to admission number has been given some kind of discount. Okay, so if you want to edit the discount, you can also edit the discount, and if you want to delete the discount, you can also delete the discount. Okay, and if you want to search any discount, so when the record will be used, so if you want to search it, you can also search it. Okay, so after this section, what this section is doing, so for generating fees voucher, what I am doing is I am generating the fees voucher of whole class. Okay, only once. Okay, so I will generate the fees voucher for the whole class. Okay, and then we will print the voucher for the whole classes in one take. Okay, so we don't have to generate the voucher and write the information for every student, that write everything for every student. You just have to write everything for one student, and that will be copied to all of the students in the class. So what I am doing it, you will select the class, then the fees. Okay, then the month, then the year, and then the generation date, and then the due date, and you will click on generate voucher. The voucher will be generated. Okay, so keep in mind there are validations in the form. You can't generate the voucher of 1 month twice. Okay, you you can only print the generate the voucher of 1 month of one class only once. Okay, and for printing the voucher, you will come here and again write the class you want to print. Okay, then you will select the month and then the year, and whenever you will click on the search, if there are vouchers, So all the vouchers will be printed. Okay, you can see that. So these voucher designs are given by the school. Okay, so this is the design. Okay, so you can see that the discount is automatically added. Okay, and it has been removed from the total fees, as the total fees is 4,000 and 600 is a discount, so the fees is 3,400, and there is also a fine, okay, which is 100, which is also automatically added into the voucher. Okay, so there is also a logic for previous balance. So if some student didn't pay the previous month fees, it will also add it into the form itself. So this is a very difficult page, so I will show you the uh, some things regarding this page. Okay, instead of showing you all the things and you will get confused. Okay, so before going to the manage fees record and manage result, I will show you the certificate section, which is a lot simpler, and then I will show you the control panel. Okay, so what I am doing in the certificate section, so that there are 6 type of certificates, 3 for student and 3 for faculty. So whenever, so all the certificates uses the same logic. Okay, exactly the same logic, only the names are changed and the letters or the certificate in the forms are changed. Okay, so suppose I want to give a certificate to a student leaving certificate who is leaving the school. So I will write the admission number of student, and I will click on filter. So the certificate for that student will be automatically printed. I didn't write anything in the certificate yet. Okay, all the information will be automatically printed, and you have to click on update living certificate. Okay, this will update the database that you have given a living certificate to Muhammad Munir. Okay, so it will automatically update the database itself, and if you want to print that certificate, you just have to uh, press Ctrl P. So only the certificate will be printed. Okay, you can see that. So this is the, and nothing from the page will be printed. Okay, so this thing is printing still because I had added this thing later, so I didn't remove this thing. Okay, so instead of using complex JavaScript functions, I had used simple CSS to print this page. Okay, so I had used printing in different places, in the fees places, in certificate, in result printing, and in the lists. Okay, so I had used simple CSS in all of the places instead of writing the difficult JavaScript functions. So first I will show you the certificate. Okay, then I will show you the control panel, which these two things are very easy. Then I will show you the manage fees record and manage result. So this will print the records and certificates, and this will show the record for the certificate. So whenever I will click the student leaving certificate, it will show me the record for the student who has been issued a leaving certificate. So this is a simple thing. So you just have to write the select query and show it in the table, just like we had shown the students or employees. Okay, so you will just write select uh, static from the table. Okay, so suppose we had the name leaving certificate student, so this is the name of table, so we will write select static from student leaving certificate. Okay, and then we will run the query and show it. Okay, so I don't have to show you this page, I will only show you the one page for leaving certificate, and you can copy it for all other certificates. Okay, let me show you. So this is the page for the student. Okay, for leaving certificate for student. So what I am doing it in here, so there is a form here which through which we will get the admission number, and then we will click on the submit button. So this form is simple, I hope you will do that. So whenever user will click the button, the user will go up. Okay, and it will see that if the array key exists. Okay, and then it will update the post the admission number. Okay, and then what it will do, it will select all of these things, okay, because I am showing all of these things in my certificates. Okay, so if you want to shows less information or more information, just write anything. Okay, from students where admission number is admission number. Okay, so you can also write equal to instead of like statement. So I had used this like statement, so there is no difference in it. So then I will run the query, okay, and then I will fetch the data and place it in the row. Okay, and then there is a nice matches that certificate is generated. Okay, so down there, this is the certificate. Okay, I had used a text area to write the certificate. So this is the certificate. So this is simple certificate. Now so you can see that there is student first name, and then I am showing the name, then student last name, then I am showing the name and all the things. And then there is another form. Okay, what this will do, this will show this will update the data in the uh, database. Okay, so you can see the value of this. It is saying a termination, the certificate has issued to the first name and then the last name. Okay, so whenever we will click the button, okay, which has a name of print, so it will again go to the top. So you can see that now this time this query will run because print is posted. So it will post the certificate information and it will insert it into the certificate table. So you can see that insert into student termination certificate. Okay, this is the name of table. Okay, then this is the name of column, and then I am giving the values. Okay, then I am running the query, and whenever I will click on the button, it will also give me the information, that information updated. You can see that I will show you. So whenever I will click this, you can see that the message has changed to information updated. Okay, so these errors are because there is no data getting from the uh, database yet. So whenever you will get no data from the database, it will show that undefined error variable, you are fetching an undefined variable. So we don't doing anything like that because we didn't select any admission number yet. So whenever we will click on the admission number, so the form will be error free. Okay, so this is how I am doing this functionality. So I had used this functionality myself because I had seen that many school will write certificate whenever someone leaving it. So I thought, why don't we do something automatically? So for that I had used this feature. So in this video I will show you the last thing, which is control panel. So what I am doing in control panel is this. So whenever user will click on control panel, so this is only the administration part. Okay, so only administration main administration person will have the access to this page. Okay, so data of this person will be automatically saved in the database by the programmer, or I will save it. Okay, so only one person will have access to this page. So and this person can give access to any other person to the uh, software. Okay, so he has to write his own email and then the password, and then he will click on login. So you can see that this is the page for adding user. Okay, so this page is exactly the same as manage employee and manage student, because we are adding a user just like we are adding an employee, and we are deleting a user as we are deleting an employee, and editing and showing all the things as we are doing in this. So whenever I will click the add user, you can see that I have to write an email and password and submit the information. User will be added. Then this is the page for main menu, and then if you want to delete the user, you can delete it, and you can update it just like the same. And if you want to see the record of all user, you can see it. I don't think I have to show you the code for this, as all of the code is same. So let me just show you only the code for add user. Okay, so you can guess that all the code is same. So you can see that this is the code for inserting a user. So this is the form which will ask a email, a password. Okay, then there is a button. Okay, and whenever we will click the button, the information will be updated in the database, and then there is also a message that user inserted. Okay, so you can see that, and then there is another button which we will refer to the back page. Okay, so I had shown you the logic how we can refer ourselves to the previous page using button. Okay, so it is a bit of a trick. You can see that in my previous video. Okay, which previous video of this project. So this is all for this video. In the next video I will show you the fees management system and result management system. Okay, so then the our project will be completed, and if you had any query in this project, kindly ask in the comment section. I will definitely answer your every query. Okay, so this is all for this video. Thank you. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel again. In the previous video of PHP project, which is a school management system, we had seen how to make a complete management system for faculty and employees and students, and also for we had seen how to make an admin panel, and then I had also shown you a certificate automatically certificate issued system which I had used in my school management system. So in this video I will show you about the fees management system and then the result management system. So if you had any question regarding previous videos, and if you had any questions regarding this video, so you can just comment and I will answer it. And if you want to see the source code regarding this video or any video I had posted on my YouTube channel, so you can check my website. And if you want to if you want the source code for this whole project, okay, so you can send me an email. You will find my email on my website. So let's jump to our project now. So in this video I will show you about the fees management system. So there are 9 basic functions in fees management system, and I will show you these 3 functions, which is generate fees voucher, print fees voucher, and reprint voucher. So voucher is the fees challan or invoice which every school will give to their students. So I will start with the generate fees voucher. And if you haven't seen the demo of this video, this school management system, kindly check that video first, because you will get the idea what we are making in this whole project. And I will start with generate fees voucher. And if you haven't seen the demo of this project, kindly go and check the demo of this project, so you will get the whole idea what we are doing in this whole school management system. And I had also shown what are the basics of a fees management system in the previous video, so check that video also. Okay, so in the fees management system I am asking the user or administrator to fill this form and click on generate voucher. So I am generating the fees voucher or invoice only one time or for the whole class. Okay, and then we will print the voucher of whole class automatically. Okay, so this is the main logic for this part. And then in some schools they give discount to poor or native people. For that I had there is a separate function which is add discount. So if we add the discount for any user, for any student once, it will be added in the voucher every time voucher will be created. So administration don't have to write the discount again and again. Okay, so let me show you the generate fees voucher code first. So what I am doing in the generate fees voucher, so this is the simple form. So I won't show you the code for the form. Okay, so this is the form. You can make the form as you want to. I will only show you the code for the generate fees voucher. So whenever user will click on the generate fees voucher, all of this data will be posted. So I told you how you can post the data, so I won't repeat that either. Then I am adding all the fees user the administration will be entered, okay, for the voucher, and I had saved it in a total fees variable, so this is nothing difficult. Then what I am doing is before I will go further, I will tell you that every voucher will be generated only once. Okay, so the voucher for one class for 1 month or for 1 year will be printed only once. You can't generate the voucher twice of the same month, of the same year, of the same class. Okay, so you have to remember that. So after uploading this the data, I am selecting from generate voucher where using these filters. So as we haven't stored anything in the database, so nothing will come. Okay, so I have used this query so to tell the user that there is no voucher. Okay, so when this query will run, there is an if there are any rows, okay, greater than 0, then run this else statement, which is voucher already exists. Okay, so if the voucher will already be exist, so it will show the error. So as there is no voucher exist still until now, then it will go in this code. So what I am doing in this code, I am inserting the some specific data which I had taken from the user in the database. So this is the simple query for insertion. So I want you can use this query as you want to, as your columns are in the database. And then there is if insertion failed. So if this query won't run successfully, then give an error that insertion failed. And if the query run, then show a message that voucher has created. Okay, so after the voucher has been created, I am using 2 or 3 different tables, okay, where I will update the record again. So as I told you before that in the generate voucher table, only one voucher will be generated for the whole class. Okay, then for using that information, I will generate or I will print the voucher or invoices for every student of that class. Okay, so whenever we will update this information, only one row will be added in our database. So what I am doing next, I am again selecting data from the generate voucher table using the same filters, which is month, year and class, and then I am saving the ID in a variable which I call VID. So VID means voucher ID. Okay, so there are two different things. There is a voucher number and voucher ID. So don't mix them up. Voucher number is the long 8 to 9 digit number which the administration will use to enter the fees of the student. Okay, and the voucher ID is the ID of every voucher. Okay, we will generate. Okay, so that voucher ID will be generated automatically by the database. So after selecting the record from the generate voucher table, we will save the ID, voucher ID and total amount in 2 variables, and then we will select all the students from that class. Okay, and then we will use a while loop and get the admission number of every student of that class. Okay, and also the student ID. Okay, so we are getting these two things because we want to store these two things in 2 different tables. So after writing this query and this loop, what this is doing, this is getting the admission number of every student and placing it in the admission number, and and also the student ID, and saving it in the student ID variable. And in this section what I am doing, I am creating a random voucher number using student ID, voucher ID and string which is 100. Okay, so you can search at Google how to concatenate different numbers in PHP. Okay, and how to generate a random voucher number. So I won't tell you how to do that. Okay, so you can search it, it is normally available. So this is our final voucher number, okay, which the administration will use to pay the fees of that student. Okay, so what I am doing in these two queries are, I am insert, there is an two tables, there is an unpaid paid table, and there is a student fees record table. Okay, so what these two tables will do, this table will save the record of every student, or okay, and then this unpaid will also do the same, okay, but this unpaid will also save the record of students whose fees has not been paid yet, okay. So if someone does not pay the fees, this table will also keep the record of that, and this table will all just keep the record of every student fees, okay, of the current month. So I am inserting data into these tables. I am inserting student voucher ID, student ID, then the amount, and then the status. Status is 0 still till now, because no student has paid the fees. Whenever user will pay the fees, the status will turn to 1. And then there is I am inserting in the student fees record, which is voucher number, student ID, then voucher ID, then status 0, and then the admission number, okay. So after that I am showing that nothing. So this is all for generating the voucher. So I will also show you the database so you will understand it better. So this is the generate voucher table. So you can see that every time we will generate a voucher for any specific class, there will be an entry added in this table, okay. And against this entry we will save entries in student fees record table, which is this. So you can see that this is the voucher, random voucher number generated, this is student ID, this is voucher ID, then this is the status, and this is admission number. I didn't save the admission number of all students because I didn't implemented this software, though there is no real-time data in the software now. So you can see that this is the record for every student, okay, against every voucher I had created, okay. And then there is an unpaid table. So in the unpaid table I am saving voucher ID, then the student ID. So the amount one is the amount which is paid by the student, and amount is the amount, okay, or the fees which is not paid by the student. So okay, so whenever a student will pay the amount one will be updated with the amount, total amount, okay, and this amount will be updated with 0 because the user had paid all of his fees, okay. And the status will also convert it to 1. So you can see that this user had paid his amount, okay, and the status is 1, that this student does not pay his amount, okay. So his amount is over on this section, and this status is 0, and this amount is 0, okay. So when this student will pay his amount, this status will turn into 1, and this amount will become 0, and this amount will become 4000. So this is the amount to be paid, and this is the amount which has been paid by the student. So I hope you get the idea. So this is what I am doing in the generate fees voucher section. So the next thing I will show you is the print fees voucher. So I will show you a voucher. So you can only print the voucher of that class, of that month, of that year whose voucher you have been generated. So if you try to print the voucher of any other class, it will give an error, okay. So you can see that there is a message that voucher printed, and there is a voucher of every student. So you can see that the discount is automatically added, and this is all the fees and information of the student. So all of the design of this voucher is at HTML. So that is, I had designed this voucher using HTML, okay. So let me just show you the code for that. So this is the code for print voucher. So this whole lengthy code is nothing more than the code of HTML, okay. So you can design your voucher yourself. So I don't think I have to give you the code for that or show you the code for that. So this all code is for the voucher, okay. And I am only retrieving the data from the database and showing it in the voucher. So there is the name, and then I am showing the name, okay. Then there is the father name, then I am showing the father name, okay. So I know I have shown you the syntax for retrieving that data many times. So I will just show you that how I am retrieving data from the database. So whenever user will select the filter and click on the print voucher, what this will do, this will select from generate voucher. Okay, it will retrieve data from generate voucher table where the class, month and year will be given by the user. Okay, so if the rows will be greater than 0, as they will be greater than 0, it will come in the if statement. So in the if statement, what I am doing, I am saving the voucher id in vid variable, and then using this vid variable I am getting data from student fees record table. Okay, and then I am student from the student fees record I am getting the student id, and from using this student id I am getting the data of that specific student, because I want to show the name of student and class and everything in the data in the voucher. So I have to get the student id from somewhere. So I had stored the student id in student fees record, so I will get from that. So this loop will run one by one and get the data of against this voucher ID one by one, and then I will use the student ID, and using this loop I will get all the data. Okay, so in this section I am getting all the data from different queries. So there are three different queries from where I am getting the data. Okay, different things from different queries. So you can pause the video and check that from which row variable I am getting which data, and you can also check the queries. Okay, so pause the video and check the queries. Okay, so you will get the idea which thing I am taking from which table and why I am and how I am doing it and why I am doing it. Okay, so after all the data will be saved, I will just display it in on the voucher. Okay, and there is one more thing, which is discount. As I told you that I had put a discount function in my database or in my software. So what this function is doing, that this will give the student discount automatically. So what this query is doing, that this query is checking that if there is any discount to that id student id, so add that discount to this variable, and if there is no discount then add 0 to this. Okay, so and the place where I am showing the total amount in voucher, I am just subtracting the total fees and am using simple, and the total fees minus amount. Okay, AMM means amount. So this is the basic logic. Okay, so there is no difficulty in it. And this I won't tell you about this section, because this section is about the previous balances of the student. So this is a very lengthy and difficult thing, so I won't tell you about that now. So I hope you are getting the idea of this complete system. So till now I had shown you these two systems. Now I will show you the add discount part. So you, for adding discount to the student, you have to enter the admission number of that student, then the amount, and just click on save discount. The discount will be added. Okay, and if you want to update the discount or delete the discount, just click on the discount record. You can see that the record of all the students whom you had given the discount, and you can edit it and delete it, okay, as you want. So I will not show you this code, because you can check this code or write this code using this edit employee and delete employee code. Okay, so same thing is doing over there. I am doing the same thing. I will only show you how I am adding the discount. Okay, so this is the code for adding discount. So this is the simple form, that enter admission number and amount and then click on the button. So whenever user will click that, so what I am doing, I am posting the information. Okay, then I am getting the id of that specific student using the admission number. So as admission number is unique for every student, so I am saving three different things in my discount table, which is student id, student admission number, and the amount of discount. Okay, so let me show you the discount table too. So you can see that this is the discount table. So I am getting id from student using the admission number. Okay, then I am storing it on sid, and then I am updating my discount table, which with student ID, admission number and amount. Okay, then I am showing a message that discount is added. So this is all for discount. Okay, the last thing for this section I will show you is fees interface. So how interface is working I had shown you in the previous video, so I will only show you the code for that. So let's jump to the code. So this is the code for interface. So I am doing two things in interface. First I am paying the fees, and then I am displaying the fees of student, fees of that specific student. Okay, so I won't show you the code for displaying the record, as I had shown you already in this edit section, delete section and this all student section. So you can manage that, and if you have any question you can answer me. I will only show you that how I am paying the voucher. Okay, so let's jump. So whenever user will enter the voucher number and date and click on the pay fees voucher button, we will go on the top. So what I am doing on the top is I am checking that if voucher pay button exists, matlab it has been clicked. So yeah, it has been clicked. So we will post voucher number and date. So what I am doing, so what are the basic thing I have to do while uh, uh, paying the fees voucher? I just have to update the student fees record table and unpaid table. Okay, and I have to, and in student fees record table I have to update the status from 0 to 1. Okay, and in the unpaid table I have to update the status and then the paid amount with the paid amount, and with the amount which has to be paid with 0. Okay, which I had told you when I had show you the unpaid table. So what I am doing, I am selecting fees record of that specific voucher number. Okay, so if the rows will be greater than 1, then we will go on this code, and if there is no voucher exist with this voucher number, so suppose we had entered a wrong voucher number, it will give an error that voucher not found. Okay, so we will get in this code. So if there is the voucher will exist, we will save our voucher id and student id in these two variables, and then we are doing, we are selecting the record, we are selecting the amount from unpaid table using this vid. Okay, then we are updating our student fees record, and then we are updating our unpaid. Okay, so I will not tell you about this query, so because this is related with our previous balance, and I had didn't show you anything about previous balance, so forget that query. So only remember that we are updating two tables, student fees record and unpaid record. Okay, so I am selecting amount from the unpaid, as I have to update the amount too. So what I am doing, I am updating student fees record and setting the status to 1. Okay, where I voucher number is this and the status is 0. So this is a simple query. Okay, and what I am doing in this query, I am doing the same thing. I am updating the status to 1. Okay, and then I am updating the amount with the amount student has paid. Okay, and the amount which has to be paid by the student, which is now has been paid. Okay, which is now has been paid. So now I will update this amount with 0. Okay, and where the student id and the student voucher id is this. Okay, and then after that I am showing a nice message that fees has been paid. Okay, so this is all the thing I am doing in whole fees pay section. So this is whole process for fees management system. So I won't show you anything further in this management system. Okay, the next thing I will show you in this video is result management system. So I will show you how to enter result, how to delete result, how to edit result, how to print result. Okay, and the remaining things are not usable till for now. So these two things are exactly the same. So there is a difference of some things in the logic. So instead of fees, we are entering marks. So that's the only difference. So first of all, I will show you how I am printing the result. Okay, so the printing result and uh, printing fees voucher or fees invoice is same. Okay, let me just show you. So first I will show you that how my fees plan is how my result will look. So you can't print the result if you haven't entered any marks yet. Okay, so you have to be careful. It will give an error. So you can see that our result has been printed. So there is a comprehensive sheet, HTML sheet. So I had made this sheet using HTML. Okay, so I will also don't show you the code for that. So this sheet is showing total marks, marks obtained, percentage, grade for every subject, and it is also showing the total result. So for printing this result, you just have to press Ctrl P and it will print the result of every student. Okay, so let me just show you the code. So this is the all the HTML. So this is the basic code. So I had divided my uh, uh, result part into sections. One is primary and one is for secondary because the subjects for primary and secondary are changed. So whenever user will enter class year and term, okay, this query will run that select from class where term or year is this, okay, and this query will also run that select from total marks. So this query is separate thing. This is for the total marks. So you can see that there are total marks over here. So user has to enter these total marks by itself that these are the total marks, okay, and then user will and then apply these total marks to every subject. Okay, so for that what I will show you what I had done for that. So this is a simple thing. It is this query is only selecting the total marks from the table. There is nothing difficult in it. So this is the main thing. So this query will select from class, okay, where term and the year is this. So for result part I had made a separate table for every class. Okay, so that's why I am writing class. Okay, so this table will be provided by the user. Okay, so suppose this is the first grade. So this query will run and then we will come down to this code. So this is the simple code. There is nothing difficulty in it. So it is checking that if class is grade is 8 or grade is 9 and grade is 10, then print this result card. Okay, so what I am doing here, as suppose the grade is 8, 9 or 10, then the this result will be printed. Okay, because this result has different subjects. There is nothing different other than subject. So you can see that this has a chemistry subject and biology and computer. Okay, and suppose if the grade is not 8, 9, 10, so then this result will be entered. So let me show you. So you can see that is else. So then this result will be printed. This is the most simplest page. Okay, but only the result card is complex. Okay, so you can see that this page has different subjects. It has science instead of chemistry, biology. Okay, so this is how I am printing that one. Okay, so this is the simple thing. So now I will show you how I had added the result. So if you want to enter the result of any class, you will select the class, the year and term. Okay, so there is an error. So error, this is the error because this result has been entered already in the database. So you can't enter the result of same class, of same year, of same term twice. Okay, so you have to enter one result only once. You can edit that result, but you can't enter that result again. So I hope you had understand that. So let me show you. Okay, so now you can Okay, so this result is also entered. Okay, I think I had entered everything while testing this. I think I should enter a new gene. So there is an error. So yeah, there is error because there is no student in prep class or nursery class in my software till yet. Okay, that's why it is not printing. So now you can see that it has opened a page with the admission number and the student, all the students, and there are all the subjects. Okay, with marks. You can enter the marks of every subject of every student, and then you can click on submit data. So if you have 10 students, then this table will be converted to 10 students. So this table will show the name of the student and admission number, and you can then enter the marks of every student. Okay, and every subject. Okay, so this one page will cover the result of whole class. Okay, so suppose you had entered the result. Okay, after that click on submit data, so the data will be submitted. Okay, okay, so if you want to see the result, let me show you how you can check the result record. I forgot for which year I had entered the result. So now, yeah, you can see that as I had didn't enter any of the marks, I had entered 0 0 for every student. So there is 0 0 for every student. Okay, so this is how you can enter marks. Okay, for the whole class. So let me show you the code for that. So this is the code for entering marks. Okay, so this is a very lengthy code, as you can see that, and it has a lot of things, a lot of logics, because there are 10 or 12 different classes. So the same logic has been copied for every different class. So don't get confused if you understand this little bit of code. So I had copied same code for 10 to 12 times. So what I am doing over here, so I am selecting the uh, class. Okay, then I am selecting the year, and then I am selecting the term, and then I am clicking on the enter result button. Okay, so then it will go to the top, so it will post all the things. Okay, then it will select the students of that class. Okay, then it will see that if there is student in that class, obviously, so it will run this code. If there are no student in this class, then it will show an error which was coming again and again when I was trying to enter a result. Okay, so as there are students in my database, so let's suppose it will enter in the inner code. So what I am doing in this inner code, I am getting the admission number, first name and last name of every student, as I am showing both these three things for every student. Okay, and what I am doing again is I am uh, checking that for every class. Okay, so if the class is will be playgroup, or if the class will be nursery, so these are the name of classes. So it will run that specific part of code. Okay, so if you understand the one part of the code, so same thing is happened over all of the pages, so don't get confused a bit. So if you know the one part, so you just have to copy it again and again, and you just have to change the class. Okay, As I told you, I had defined different tables for different classes. So because I want to store the data of every class separately. So let me just show you what I am doing over here. So suppose our class is playgroup, so it will come in this section. So what I am doing it, I am inserting into playgroup the admission number and the first time and the last time and year and term. Okay, so there I am not doing any difficult thing. I am only checking the class and then I am inserting into the table. Okay, so what this will do, this will insert the data of every student of that class in the playgroup section against that specific year and term. And then what I am doing is that if that result query will run successfully, okay, then it will refer me towards another page. Okay, and if this query does not run successfully, so it will show me error that record already inserted. Okay, so if the record for this year and the thing is already inserted in the database, then it will show me the error that the record is already inserted. Okay, so suppose our record is not inserted, so it will refer it towards new page. So you can see that it is referring me towards another page, and it is also sending two variables on the next page. So I had told you the syntax for sending one variable using the link in the next page. So this is the syntax if you want the header tag and you want to send two or more variables on the next page. So this is how you can do it. So I had took a lot of time to search for me to search this syntax. Okay. So what I am doing, I am sending the term, okay, and the year, okay, to this playgroup.php file. Okay, so let me show you that file now. So in this file I am just entering the marks. So you can see that what I am doing, this is a simple table, as we had seen that I had entered the marks using a table, and then there are text input fields, as I have to give user the input field so that he can enter marks. Okay, and then whenever user will click the button, these marks will be saved. Okay, so what I am doing, I am getting the term and year from the previous page, and then I am selecting record regarding that term and year of that class. Okay, and then I am displaying that record. Okay, so you can see that this row I am passing this result variable, which is this result variable. Okay, so I am using this, I am just showing the data, okay, of every student. So there is no data, I know, but it will show the placeholder, which is the name of each subject. Okay, so you can see that this is the input which has a type of return. And okay, so I didn't show the admission number over here, so that's why it has a type of return. So it will not be shown on the this page. Okay, so don't get confused over here. And let me show you another thing, another column, so you can see that. So first three types have inputs as a type of return, because we don't want to write anything over on these. Okay, so I have to write things in subjects part. Okay, so that's why these are hidden. So user will only see the admission number and name, first name and last name. Okay, so user can't do anything except on it. So this is the input for subject. So what it is saying, it has an input with type text. Okay, then what I am doing, this is the name. Okay, I will show you the logic behind it. So what I am trying to do over here, and then this is the class, and this is the id English, and then this is the placeholder English. Okay. So what I am trying to do over here, so as we know that if suppose there are 10 students in the class, so whenever the user The user will click only one time, okay, the submit button. So I have to generate some kind of different names for every subject, okay, so that the name for every subject will be gone differently for every student, and the marks for every student will be saved differently, okay. So that's why I am generating a random number over here choosing this I variable. So this is English, this is will be the name, and then this is echo I, okay. So I is the random number. So the first time this loop will run, the I is 1, then the second time the I will be 2. So this is a very difficult thing which I had sorted out, okay. So before this, whenever I will update the record, what I am doing it, I am the marks I will enter for the first student, these marks will be copied for all the other students, okay, are getting copied for all the students instead of saving the actual marks of every student. And the reason for that is because I was giving the same name attribute for every student, okay. So then I had used this logic to automatically generate different name for every student, okay. So this is nothing difficult in it. I hope you will understand it. So you can see that I am declaring I over here, and then I over here, then I am incremented I every time, okay. So I will be incremented every time. So this is the most important trick in all of this page, okay. So the remaining thing is easy. So whenever user will click the button, so it will go to the top, it will post all the things, okay. So if the result will be posted, and it will post all the data, and it will update the data, okay, into the database. So there is nothing difficult in it. I hope you will understand that thing, okay, yourself. So you might be thinking that why I am updating this playgroup table, okay. So if you remember that when in the enter result table I had already inserted data into the playgroup, okay, against that specific year and term, okay. That's why I am updating in this page, okay. So it will update the marks, okay. I hope you had understand that very well. So this is how I am entering the marks and saving it in our database. So the last couple of things I have to show you is delete result and edit result. So no one delete the result as we know. But suppose if someone wants to delete the result, so of any specific student, okay. So you will just open the result first like this, and whenever you will click on delete, the result will be deleted. So the same I had used the same logic I had used on this, okay. So don't get confused, just display the data of student, and just whenever user will click this delete button, send the admission number instead of ID. So in this part in delete imply we were sending the ID. So instead of ID, send the admission number, and delete the data of student record with respect to this admission number, okay, against this admission number. This is that simple. I don't think I have to show you the code for that again and again. So I hope you will do that yourself. So in the edit result, I am doing the same thing. So I will open the class, and if you want to edit the result of this student, click on edit and update the data. So let me just update the data. I will update the this number to 50. So and if I will click on update, so you see that record is updated. So let me show you now. So you can see that now the marks are good. So for the updation, I had used the exactly same thing I had used over here. So don't get confused on anything. So if you want me to tell you about that, just comment it, I will answer it, but I will not show you anything in this video about this stuff. Okay, so I will assume that you will do it yourself. Okay, so the last thing in this video I have to show you is edit marks. So I had already entered the marks for every subject in my database. So let me show you. So here is the total mark. Okay. So you can see that all the subjects, okay, and I had saved the marks against them with their respective classes. Okay, so when so these are by default marks. So if the user wants to update those marks, so suppose that school wants these subjects, English subjects, to be 50, how he will do it? So he will just open this table, select the class, okay, and click on generate sheet. So you can see that this class will be over here, and then all of the marks. Okay, just update the marks and click on update marks. So you can see that record is updated. So I will also show you in the database. So you can see that it is 70 now, and I will also show you again over here. So now you can see that it is 70 over here. So this is how I am updating my marks. So I will show you the code for that. So I am editing the marks over here. So don't get afraid because of the code. The code is very simple, but it is very lengthy. I accept, but I will hope that I am making you understand everything. Okay. So what I am doing is I am giving a drop down of classes. Whenever user will click the button, it will go to the top, and if the exact button result will be uh, there, then it will select the total marks against that class. Okay, and then it will show using the same table. Okay, over here. So there are again two separate parts. One is for secondary and one is for primary, because both of the subjects are changed. So if the classes were 8, 9 or 10, so then this table will be shown and these marks will be shown. Okay, so this is the same, okay, as in the enter result part. Okay, I just copy and paste the data, and if the classes are for primary, then this table will be shown, and then this data. Okay, so and whenever user will click this update marks button, then this query will be done, which is this. So there are again two parts. One is for 8, 9, 10 grade, and one is for remaining grades. So what is doing? It is updating the record. Okay, so you can see that it will check that if the class will be one of these, it will update all the subjects, and then it will update it in the database, and then it will show a message that record updated. Okay, and if there will be a mistake, it will show an error. And if there is if the class is another class, it will update these subjects and it will update them in the database. Okay, so I will also show you for the 8, 9, 10 grade, so you can see that the subjects are different. Okay, so it will come up with different subjects because of that different divisions. Okay, so this is all for this project. So if you want to see any other project in PHP, then do comment. I will try to make those projects. So this is a very lengthy and difficult project, as it took me 2 months to make this project, and if you don't understand anything in this project, so that's completely normal. And if you had any questions and any query regarding this project, then put do comment and I will answer that query. And most of all, if you want the source code and anything of this project, then give me an email. So this is a paid project, by the way. So if you want the source code or anything, then send an email on my email. You will find my email address on my website. Okay, the link will be in the description. So this is all for this video. I hope you have learned a lot from this project, and it has taken a lot of time for me to make this video. Okay, and also a lot of time to make this project for you guys. So I hope you had enjoyed the video and you had enjoyed the course. So I will try to make a course on PHP in my upcoming videos. So I hope you have learned a lot in this video and this course session. So thank you for watching my video. Do like the video and click on the subscribe button if you want to. And this is all for this video.